So to what extent do these processes then take better account maybe of the complexities of conflict than litigation does?
Well, litigation is a snapshot, historical focus on a moment in time, measured by a reference to legal rights and entitlements of parties. And as a legal educator, I sometimes have to apologise to our graduates for having encouraged them to tune out from perhaps the causes of the conflict, the future of the conflict, how it affects them in this and other realms, in other areas of activity, and maybe also tuning out from the relationship side of the conflict. So alternative dispute resolution can be much more in tune with the real problems. It's not a panacea, and it doesn't always mean that just because we can perhaps conceive of the problem more holistically that we can solve it. But at least alternative dispute resolution allows for a process where we can consider more deeply the problem that exists between the parties and deal with the causes of the problem, or deal with how we're going to manage and live with the problem going forward, in a way that I think the snapshot historic processes like litigation and arbitration for that matter don't necessarily. Now, there is a place for all of these, I will say, and there will be times when parties aren't ready or able for alternative dispute resolution, or there will be times when the dispute isn't ripe, and a process which requires one to think beyond the basic issues and to navel gaze as to what might be the cause of the problem and how we're going to deal with it. That can be painful, exhausting, intensive, difficult, and sometimes it might just not be appropriate. But to conclude, really, ADR is a much more holistic way of dealing with the problems that parties encounter, sometimes whether they realise that they have these problems or not.